How's it going, everybody? My name is Artorigold, and today I'm going to be doing another user-submitted VOD. This time it's going to be Mei at a platinum level. Now, Mei is an extremely cheesy character that can get a lot of easy kills depending on what the enemy team is running. Your right click does a surprising amount of damage, and I think they recently buffed it to where the fall off damage, so it does a lot more damage at farther range. So one of the things with the Mei that you always want to be looking to do, and I think that was kind of more of a mistake, but it actually ended up working for you because the Reinhardt ended up getting the pin still. But one of the things that you always want to do if the enemy team is running a Rein or Zarya team comp, they are very slow, they're not very fast, and you want to try to use your ice wall at the beginning of the game at a choke point to try and separate the Reinhardt from the rest of his team. If not a Reinhardt, then whoever is in front of him. So in this instance, I don't even know if I would want to be positioned here. I think you might even be better if you were inside this little room over here, because then they probably would be looking this way. They won't even be looking to the left or the room to the left, and because of that, you could be getting a really cheeky little ice wall at the very beginning of the game. If they don't know that there's a Mei on the enemy team, because if you hit tab, it won't show who the characters are, and if you just stay hidden in a room over here somewhere in the side, you can just wait for the enemy team to move forward thinking that they're completely safe, nothing bad's gonna happen to them, and then you ice wall them off, and then here you have one or two people, usually the Reinhardt with his little hammer, and he's stuck on this side, and your whole team 6v1, you can just focus down this Reinhardt. Be hidden and be sneaky, be patient, and wait to use the ice wall to separate the Reinhardt from the rest of the team. So either way, that wall, even though the wall wasn't very good, I didn't really like it. I do think that it worked out pretty well for you. One thing about your left click that's really good about Mei is that it can slow down and it's really effective against a Genji. I highly recommend using it against a Genji because it basically forces him to use his dash to escape. The Genji doesn't want to use the dash to escape. He wants to use it to get a kill, get the reset, and then go again. But if you don't have that, also a thing about Genji is that the left click also goes through a Genji deflect, which is really important. As long as you just stay on a Genji with your left click, you either force his dash or he gets frozen and then he's dead from a right click to his face. So I think that your positioning and your wall, this is a good intention. This is what I was talking about, what you want to do against a Reinhardt Zarya, especially at the beginning of the game. And it also works very well throughout all stages of the game, but I don't like you being in this corner. I think you would be better off if you were trying to do it, because the ice wall actually has quite a bit of range. You could probably use it from really this range. From where you are right here, you could probably get away with using the wall in this location. And that's why I think you should try to get further back. There's no reason you'd be in this position because right above you there's a window, and it's possible that somebody could just look down at you and then just shoot your face off, and there's nothing you could do about it because you're not looking up at the window, you're looking at the choke and you have your ice wall ability ready. So it's kind of a disadvantage. I don't think this is the best positioning to be in. You have the right idea at heart. This is exactly what you want to do as Mei. You want to be able to decent wall there. Actually works very well. So here I would using your ice block. Absolutely. If you're stuck in an enemy graviton, use your ice block. Okay, very good Blizzard. What I would do here is focus the Ana first. You want to be freezing and going for the enemy supports and the squishies first. Freezing the tanks is really good, and it stops their momentum. It's especially good against a Reinhardt who has a nano boost. In that situation, the Reinhardt had a nano boost, so being able to freeze him makes the nano boost completely worthless. I mean, it'll keep him alive, but he's not going to be having that damage, right? And that's one of the big things about a Nano Reinhardt is that he does a lot of damage. It's really unexpected. So I think that was overall really good ice block, really good Blizzard usage, and being able to freeze and go for that Ana first for the kill is really good. And then after that, I think it's good to just stay left clicking a Reinhardt, especially if he has a nano boost. And because even if you're not able to kill the Reinhardt because he's getting probably pocketed by a healer and the damage reduction from the nano, you can just keep him in one place by just sitting there and freezing him with your left click. You're kind of like a disabler, similar to Sombra and how Sombra stops you from being able to play the game. as well as Brigitte and Doomfist. Mei is also a character that basically makes it so you're not able to play the game. It disables your hero, you lose functionality, you're not able to do what you want to do, and that's exactly the power of a Mei. You are going to disable the enemy team so they are unable to do what they want to do. So overall, actually, I kind of like this ice wall. It's pretty good. As you can see, what you want to do with your ice wall is you want to separate the enemy team and get pick potential. And because the Reinhardt is like isolated over here, your ice wall makes it so he's not going to receive any help from his team. So I like that ice wall. That's actually really good. I'm not sure how the Reinhardt got over there, actually. I'm not sure if he went on a flanking. I'm not sure why he's over there. But either way, chasing down this Ana was good, but I'm not sure if you weren't noticing that you were taking damage, because right here you're taking damage, and you had your ice block ability ready, so I'm not sure about that. I think one thing with Mei, if you're taking damage and you're not sure where or who is damaging you, like in that instance you were getting hit in the back, well, you definitely had tunnel vision right there, right? I think in that instance you should have just used your ice block and let the Ana go. It sucks to let a healer get away with like low HP like that, but I mean, there's no reason to just die. Your ice block was you had it ready and up and you didn't use it and you died, and that should never happen as Mei. With your Mei positioning, it's okay. The problem with being in there is that you're trapped if anybody tries to go in there with you, but I don't think it's terrible. I think the only alternative is you could try to be in this corner, but you kind of get in that same position where if somebody's up there, you can die to them. But another positioning that I like is you actually can get on the high ground, right above you on the platform on the high ground. You can get above there, and you can ice wall them from that location. And while you're up there, you can also use your right click and shoot icicles at people trying to move into this choke area around here. The other alternative there is you could be over on this side of the map, which is okay. It's kind of a weird spot to be. I would say if the enemy team pushes in and you fail your ice wall, then being over here is not where you want to be. It's kind of a bad positioning on Volskaya. The Mega Health Pack is nice, but... So yeah, you get the wall off on the Zarya, which is really good. I think the Blizzard is really good, but I think you could have done it a little further forward. Let me look exactly where you threw it. Yeah, so you actually hit it into your own ice wall. So one thing to note with your Blizzard, you kind of like throw your droid or whatever it is, and that's a projectile. And because it's a projectile, it also can be affected by walls. So if, like in that example, you hit your own ice wall, and so it stopped the Blizzard from going further. In that situation, I would have removed your ice wall and then thrown your Blizzard, and then it probably would have landed right here, meaning that the aura would have been a lot bigger, probably around here, rather than where the ring is. You can see the ring, it's like right here. So it would have had a bigger radius, and it would have been able to get all of these people all grouped up right here. So using your ice block during a Blizzard is a really good way to kind of just like sit there and distract them, be unkillable, and then wait for the enemy team to be frozen, and then you could start doing damage to them. I don't think you really needed to do it there. Let me rewatch this. Good left click on the Zarya, good focus, using your Blizzard. Okay, you're at 150 HP, but I don't think you were in any danger of dying because as you noticed here, your Moira is actually ulting you. You can see right here, there's the beam. The Moira is actually ulting right here, so I don't think that you needed an ice block because you were getting pocketed by a Moira ult. So adding the left click to the Reinhardt is pretty good. Yeah, it's really difficult to hit a Pharah as Mei. Overall, I think that Blizzard was good. The only thing I would have done differently is I would have taken the wall down and then used your Blizzard because then your droid would have been able to go a little bit further. So one thing to do with ult charge building is you can actually, when you heal yourself with your own ice block, you are able to get ult charge from how much you heal. So that's something I like to do with Mei, is you're able to just try and, even, it depends if your healers need the ult charge or not. If you have a Moira as your main healer, I wouldn't worry about getting her ult charge because a Moira is going to get so much ult charge so quickly, and it doesn't really matter if you help her with that or not. Maybe a Zenyatta or Lucio will need the ult charge more because they have the defensive ults, and it's way more important than a Moira ult. But same thing with an Ana. I think Ana could build her ult really quickly, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Using your ice block here on the point is pretty good. I would go for that Brig because she was 1 HP and she was nanoed, or antied rather. So yeah, if you're in a stall situation on this, what you want to do is exactly what you're doing. You want to get into a corner on the point where the walls are kind of enclosing you, and then build a wall just like this, and then you're trapped in here, but you're not going to take any damage unless somebody can like wall climb or something. And then basically you wait for your ice block cooldown. So you trade cooldowns. You basically try to stay alive as long as possible behind the wall. Then as you let the wall down, let your HP go down a little bit. Don't ice block immediately. Take a little bit of damage first. It helps you build more ult charge. It also stalls like a second or two for your wall cooldown as well. So basically all you're trying to do is just stay alive. And your wall is really good at that. So here, you got that damage. You better ice block. You didn't get the ice block? Oh no, you didn't have the ice block. Ah, that's so unfortunate. 4, 3, 2, 1. Man, the Moira ult would have saved you. Oh man, if that Moira ult was able to help you right there, and you were able to get that ice block, that would have been so much more value. Oh, that's so winnable though. You guys got that. I think overall you did your best in that situation. You couldn't ice block. I'm a little sad that you couldn't. The cooldown was... The soldier seemed to aim like all of his shots on you, which is rather unfortunate, but I think you did your best. So here, staying hidden, waiting for good ice walls is what you want to do as Mei. You could try to be a little bit better positioning here. You can actually try to do some right-click damage. So even though it's good to be hidden, if you're this close to your ultimate, I don't think it's a wrong move. I think you could go it either way. You can try to go for the pick potential with your ice wall, which is really good. But if you're like, you know, what are you, 12% away from your ult? I would go out there and I'd throw some right-click icicles at people. I mean, why not? You could get your Blizzard. I mean, it's pretty valuable to get Blizzard, especially on a 2CP map where you're able to just throw it on the 2CP. So yeah, building your ult charge here is really good. Going right behind a Reinhardt who is trying to shield is exactly what you're supposed to be doing as Mei. So using the ice wall behind a Reinhardt like this is perfect, and then getting right into a corner. Now, depending on what rank you are, what Reinhardts will do is they're not going to sit there and they're going to not hold right click and wait to be frozen. As you climb the ranks, you'll notice the Reinhardts are going to try and charge you. That's going to be their like their last-ditch desperation move, is they're going to try to charge you before they get frozen, and if you don't get ready to ice block at that moment, then you will die from a charge. So that's one thing that you should take a note. Really good freezing here. I think your team can clean that up nicely. I really like that. Yeah. So one thing to note when you're winning a fight, although your right click could be the better way to do damage to him, what you could do as Mei, and this is a more advanced thing and you'd have to let your team do it as well, is you can just, if you won the fight, like in that instance, there was only 2 people left, a diva and a soldier. Now, instead of doing damage and trying to kill those 2 people, since it was 6v2, what you can do as Mei is just hold down left click, keep them frozen for as long as possible, keep them alive as long as possible without killing them, and basically use your freeze as a way to stall the enemy. Now, stalling the enemy in that situation is, you won't get that situation every time, right? When it's like 1 or 2 people left alive, and it's really easy to just like stall and just stagger them super hard with your freeze. It's going to do some damage to them, but if you do it enough, like you just hold down left click and like little bursts and you just keep slowing them, you can really get away with staggering them for a lot of potential. So this is like the last fight. You could even potentially use your ice wall here to deny them to touch the point, which is also really good. I think this positioning is pretty good because the enemy team isn't worried about doing anything other than touching the point, because there's only 20 seconds left, right? That's all they care about right now, is touching the point. That's all they're thinking about. So being in that corner, I think it's okay because the enemy team's not going to even be thinking about the ice wall. What I would like to be doing in this situation, chasing a Pharah is good actually. If the Pharah is on the ground and indoors, then that Pharah is making a big mistake. So she just, freezing a diva is really good, by the way, because her defense matrix can't stop the freeze. Here you want to use your Blizzard, Ice Wall probably, to try and stay alive. Ooh, this is going to be a tough situation. You get the beat from your Lucio, that's huge, that saved a life. I would be trying to freeze that diva a little bit. Going for the right clicks on the Junkrat could be good if you can kill him. This is definitely a stall situation. You have the spawn advantage. Good graviton by your team. Going for the Brig freeze can be pretty good because it doesn't let Brig do what she wants to do. Alright, that was really good. I think you played that very well. The only thing you could have done differently in that instance, I think, was you could have tried to freeze the D.Va or freeze the Brig. You didn't commit to a single target, but I guess in an overtime situation where you have the spawn advantage, that's completely fine. Going for those picks is usually really strong, really like a lot of value, but I think in a OT situation, trying not to commit to a fight and focusing on staying alive is definitely more important. So I think your decision making there was right in the instance. I would have liked to see you commit a little bit to some people, because if you're able to just get one freeze off on a Brig or a D.Va, that would have helped your team immensely, because D.Va defense matrix is really strong on a point, and Brig is especially really strong on a point, and it's really hard to deal with her. So Mei on offense can be pretty good. You have to play it a little differently. You still want to use your ice walls to try and separate the enemy team. However, it's a lot more difficult to try and do that on offense where the enemy team is already set up on defense. It's much easier if you're playing on a map like so right here, this was really good. I really like that you do this. So this is something that you can do as Mei if you're on offense, is you can try to wall the enemy off. It's usually a little harder to pull it off. You did a really good job and you got the Reinhardt here. I'm a little sad that your Reinhardt went in a little, I think he charged a little prematurely. If you waited for the ice wall to happen, then I think that charge would have been a lot easier for him to get to. Good ice block. You don't die to, I think there was a Reinhardt was charging you and a soldier right click actually came in. You were able to dodge it, but it was still just too much damage for you guys to deal with. I think the only thing that could have been done differently was your Reinhardt landing the charge. If your Reinhardt was a little like more patient and waited for the wall, I think he charged before the wall even came out. If he did that, then I think you guys would have been a lot better off. But because the Reinhardt got a little impatient, you missed the pick potential on the enemy Reinhardt. So using your left click, or using your wall in the tank right here, that's really good. I would be trying to focus on freezing tanks. That's always really good as Mei. Freezing a tank, it's really easy to take them out if your team focuses damage on them, and while they're frozen, they're not able to do anything. I'm not sure where you're aiming right here. Did you think there was a Symmetra turret up there? That was an interesting... I'm not sure why you tried to, to shoot the ceiling there, but maybe you thought there was a Symmetra turret. I do believe I saw a Symmetra at one point. So here we're waiting for a regroup. That's really good. One thing that you could be doing, because they don't have a one-pick potential on their team, they have a soldier and Symmetra, you could be peeking a little bit and trying to get some right clicks off, so you could try to build towards your ult charge a little bit quicker, which I think would be really good. I mean, shooting at a Reinhardt shield with your right clicks isn't going to do anything, but you could be moving around to the left side of the choke where the Reinhardt isn't and be poking a little bit with your right clicks. So one of the things that you can do, if a Reinhardt's shattering, I mean, it's hard because, you know, Reinhardt shatter can be difficult to try and do anything about, but you can use your ice block to block the, well, you can use the ice wall and the ice block to block earth shatter. If you use your ice wall, it can block it and save your entire team behind you, depending on where you are able to use it, which is really difficult to do, but it's a lot of value if you can pull it off. Other than that, it's a lot easier to just use your ice block and then just save yourself from the stun. Which I would have liked to see you do there, but it's kind of difficult to do. It's not something that I think everybody can do. It really relies on just pure reaction speed. If you're ult tracking the enemy team and you know the enemy Reinhardt has an earth shatter, or if you have like a Sombra who can hack him and then you can tell who has ultimate and who doesn't, then that's really good information. And then you could basically just prep yourself mentally and be like, all right, I'm going to ice wall, I'm going to ice block as soon as I see this Reinhardt put his shield down. Because as soon as Reinhardt puts his shield down, that's when he's going to go for that shatter. Because obviously he's, you know, if he has his shield up and he's not doing anything, he's not going to shatter. But it's kind of a giveaway when he puts a shield down. If he goes for the flame strike, I think it's still okay using just one like ice wall cooldown or something like that. So here you're taking a lot of damage from that Symmetra turret, which is rather unfortunate. I don't think the Blizzard was bad. I think the Blizzard had really good potential. Oh, actually, we're going to be swapping to Junkrat here. And you get a fat nano boost. Woo! That was a good nano right there. Holy crap, what in the... Oh, alright, fine. So, I do think the Blizzard could have been better, but I don't think it was bad. I think I think it was okay. It just didn't, it was kind of unlucky that it just didn't get any value. So now we're switching to Junkrat. I'm not sure why you're on Junkrat. I guess you just want to do some more damage, raw damage, which is something that Mei lacks in, but you can definitely have with Junkrat, so I don't think the pick's bad. Getting the oh yeah, I like that. I think your accuracy could have been better there, but I like what you did. I liked how you jumped up on the high ground, and somehow the Ana died to your passive? Let's watch this again. So one thing that I want to say is you engage, if you have both mines, your shift, in this case numpad 0 for you, which is an interesting key binding. But going for a soldier on the high ground can be really good. You use a mine to go there, and then you use you want to go get like right in his face, and then you're able to aim a lot easier. And you just want to do one left click and then one shift, or numpad 0 in this case, and then use your mine to finish him off, and that'll kill any 200 HP character. Unfortunately, oh my goodness, your bombs fell off the ground and landed on this Ana and just rained on her. And there was a Transcendent Zenyatta right there healing her too. That is crazy. That's something you don't see every day. She actually died from your passive even though she was getting healed from a Transcendence. That's insane. I like what you did to the soldier though. That was really good. You need to make sure that you have both mines ready when you do a play like that. If you only have one mine, then that's not going to be enough damage, because you have to use one mine to get to the high ground, and then you have to use 2 bombs to kill him, or 1 bomb plus a mine. It's much easier to do 1 bomb, 1 mine than it is 2 bombs. It's much quicker. So unfortunately, you got a loss there. It's a little unfortunate. I do think that you got a really good value out of Junkrat, though. You got 2 picks. You got the soldier, and then you got the Ana. I think some things you could have done better. Well, not even you. I think you did well. I think it's just unfortunate because, like, you had your Ana, and she just kind of wasted Nano and Spawn, and that was a really bad decision. And I think right after she used Nano, your main healer then swapped to like a DPS hero or something. So it's really unlucky in games like that where your team just makes some really poor swapping and decision making without any like prior communication. It's really, really difficult to climb, and I think you have to just try and keep a mental fortitude and not tilt, and make sure to avoid players that do that, and keep just grinding on. Eventually you will climb, even if your teammates are making bad decisions. If you're playing better consistently, then you will be able to get that, not even a really high win rate, you will just be able to get that 51% win rate. That's all you're looking for. You're looking for that 51% win rate, and looking to not tilt yourself and to just do that grind and gain that SR slowly but surely. In summary, things to take away from Mei, I think that at the beginning of the game, you could hide better for a nice, really cheesy pick with your Ice Wall. Instead of revealing yourself with right clicks, you can just wait and let the enemy think, oh, you know, I don't know what their team is, but obviously they don't have a Mei, and then bam, you're Mei, and you reveal yourself with a big Ice Wall, and then the Reinhardt or whatever tank it is will probably get frozen and died instantly, and that's an easy like 30 seconds of you just winning a team fight, because you have a huge advantage in pick on the main tank. I think your Blizzard usage could be a little bit better. I think you should work on dropping your Ice Wall when you're using your Blizzard, because it is a projectile, and you could probably throw it into a place you would prefer if your Ice Wall wasn't blocking it. I would rather use your Blizzard and then use your Ice Wall to cut off an escape route. I think that's a much better use of Blizzard. Overall, I think you played Mei very well, and I think you can concentrate on those things and you'll definitely improve. I don't think Mei is a very good pick on every map, especially things like Gibraltar, but she works really well on 2CP maps, especially on defense. So if you keep playing her in those situations, I'm sure you'll get a really good win rate with her. Anyways, that's it for this VOD. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.